Dib, Simkin, Pride and Thrill in 2001 state that marketing consists of an individual and organisational activities that facilitate and accelerate the satisfaction of exchange relationships in a through the creation, distribution, promotion and pricing of goods and services and ideas in a dynamic environment. Kotler and Keller in 2004 develop it further and say that marketing is about identifying and meeting the human and social needs through an exchange process, meeting needs profitably. And here we're seeing the movement towards that relationship, towards that experience. In 2007, the Marketing Association suggests that marketing is defined as a set of activity, institutions and various processes which communicate, create, deliver and exchanging offerings that have value for society, customer, clients and partners. And finally, the Institute of Marketing in 2009 said that the management process of anticipating, the identifying and satisfying customer requirements profitably. So these are the definitions and showing the variation in definitions, how they've evolved, how marketing has developed. It has been substantially important in the academic literature for many, many, many years. The traditional 4 Ps of the marketing mix has dominated marketing theory for many years. It's still very much widely accepted concept by practitioners and academics. However, since the 1980s, there's been greater emphasis upon company and customer relationships, and in view of this, the limitations of the 4P models has become very much apparent. This table here is showing the movement in marketing from a production through to product selling, marketing, relationship marketing, societal marketing through to branding, and what has happened. And this is, the source is Kotler and Keller. So in production, it's all about production methods, that pretty much lasted the 1950s, and it's all about that process and distribution of production to achieve that reduction in cost and improved efficiency. Product was obviously very much about the quality of the product, and that was pretty much until the 1960s, and that product was paramount. Quality of the product was paramount to ensure that we were meeting the customer's needs. Selling in the 1950s and 60s was very specific, and there was major factors to achieving success. From the 1970s to the present day, it's that whole idea of marketing the consumer's needs, focusing on the goods and services that satisfy those needs and wants. The relationship marketing is building and keeping good customer relations from the 1960s to the present day. It's about that whole relationship between suppliers and customers, and the aim is to give the best possible attention. The societal marketing is benefit to society, the 1970s to present. There's very similar characteristics as the marketing orientation. However, there's the added provision of the curtailment of any harmful activities in society in terms of the product production or selling methods. And finally, branding, the 1980s to the present day. Branding is the main company philosophy, and marketing is considered an instrument of that branding philosophy. So marketing is just one aspect of branding. So the development. Perceptions of that marketing mix has moved from that traditional orientation to the more recent contemporary marketing approach. In 1997, Payne proposed that the cause of concern for the traditional marketing was the emphasis on the short-term transactions, which was identified by a number of researchers stated here. In industrial and service business-to-business marketing, researchers noticed that to be successful in establishing and maintaining long-term relationships with the customer was essential. Consequently, this led to a shift solely focusing on the core product and its physical attributes towards the customers and their specific needs. So regardless of the product attributes, a clear identity was needed to really help distinguish that product from all the other brands on that marketplace. The identity attached to the product is called the brand, and it similarly fosters that long-term connection between the company and the customers. And this was something that Bustle had suggested in 1996. Christopher Payne and Valentine 1994 suggest that customers have bigger trust in brands they feel they can rely on and for products that they closely meet their needs and values. So obviously the 4 Ps, which comes from Bourdain's original, which was reduced by McCarthy in 1964 to product, price, promotion, place. It's very much criticised and has been developed to consider the consumer marketing, relationship marketing, service marketing, retail marketing, industrial marketing and e-marketing. Now please look at the VidPods to see how it has been applied within your own sector. So obviously the other aspects has been the service influence, as I said. Look at your VidPods. Technology has also been a key issue. So with the net, as Chavney calls it, there's a new way of conducting business. It's more available, but it doesn't change the laws of business, or most of what we really creates is a competitive advantage, and the fundamentals of competition really remain unchanged regardless of technology or not. So we're going to look a little bit more detail at the E or I marketing. So internet marketing is achieving marketing objectives through applying digital technologies. The results are delivered by technology. E-marketing is considered, Chavney, as achieving marketing objectives through the use of electronic communications technology. And finally, digital marketing is applying technologies which form online channels to market in terms of web, email, mobile, wireless, etc. So E or I marketing, e-commerce, the sharing of business information, maintaining those business relationships and conducting business transactions by means of electronic networks. E-business is the use of electronic platforms, intranets, extranets and internet to conduct that company's business. So what are the characteristics of this digital media? Well, as McDonald and Winston point out in 1999, it's about interactivity, intelligence, individualism, integration, industry restructuring and independence of location. And the drivers of this is to really, setting clear goals for the digital channels. It's about aligning the business with the strategy, avoiding those sort of ad hoc approaches. To create a specific online value proposition, an OVP, is absolutely key. To specify those communication skills is to drive visitors and integrate the digital and traditional channels so that they are giving the same message. It's not devaluing your proposition or your positioning. And it's about managing customers' life cycle through the online touch points. So how can you replicate the visit to the store, the experience online? How can you go around doing that? It's a difficult one. The benefits, it's very much a global marketplace. New customers, stroke markets equal new revenue stream. New products and services can be offered. It's very low cost, it's convenient, it's 24/7. It's fast, it's flexible as a communication tool. It's very much tailored. You can use it to tailor your message and target your customer. It can be multimedia, it can be used for obviously market research, and it can help you measure the statistics that are coming back. There are various challenges that's very complex, it can be very difficult. It's constantly having to respond to what your competitors are doing. Cost in terms of the technology can be a stumbling block. There's maybe a lack of understanding of how it could work and what it could be doing for your brand. The pace of the technology changes can have severe problems for the brands. Therefore, you're looking dated. You maybe just got your website up to date and already it needs to be updated. There needs to be transferability to mobile because most people have internet on their phones and use it. A lot of the time that they're on their phone, they're maybe online now, and it has to be very much about trying to retain that customer's attention. There's so much going on, it's very difficult to let for that customer to be concentrating on your e-marketing. So the channels need to be integrated to part of the e-marketing strategy. It needs to be the message in terms of web, email, phone, mail, person, all need to be the same. It's very much about ensuring the two-way conversation between the company and the customer is very much on brand and in keeping with the brand identity. There are various models to show how the internet works, so this Timmer's 1999. We have degrees of innovation up down along the bottom here, and running up the side is functional integration. So we have from eShop all the way up to value chain integrator, third-party marketplace, a collaboration platform, we've got email, virtual community, e-auction, trust services. So all these elements that business models that can be used and are used by brands. So considering further the forms of online presence, so there's very much a transactional site where services transactional site was important. There's a service and relationship site, but building what the brand is and what kind of service and trying to make that conversation with the customer. The third is a brand building site. It's very much about showing the brand of the history, where we're going, what we're trying to do. For example, you could have the Gucci group has its own branded websites, which doesn't really sell product, but if you go to the Gucci website, obviously that's one of their brands, but so is Stella McCartney, so is Alexander McQueen, so it becomes very much part of what you'd be trying to build up the story behind the brand, or the corporate brand as well. Fourth is the portal or the media, so very much as locked, you have to sign in to get into it, which is something that brands use, have sections where only media can sign into to get images of their brand, etc., if they're running stories. And finally, we've got the social network and community site, so Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, all of these are key. So looking at the e-adoption with our organisations, we go from email, which is efficient internal and external communications, to the website, which is a place of the worldwide market, it's a window to the worldwide of suppliers, e-commerce, which you order and pay online, sort of reduced transactional costs, maximises that speed, and again we're moving towards a sort of organisational change and sophistication. There's e-business, where it integrates the supply chain from manufacturer till delivery is seamless, and finally it's sort of transformed organisations. It's an open system of information, which is very much a new business models based on interworking between organisations and individuals. So Chavney puts together this means of assessing the online competencies. So he talks about looking at innovation, quality, information systems, productivity, workforce, financial competence and strategic competence should be the elements you are considering in terms of your online presence or your e-communication strategies, something that you would be considering to look at. So are we innovative? Are we offering quality message, quality product, quality service? What are our information systems like? Are they quality? Are they effective, efficient? How's our productivity? Are we getting to the product, to the customer on time? Is it an easy transactional process? What's the workforce like? How much goes on behind the scenes in terms of the financial competence? Is this making us money? Is it actually saving us money? In terms of, is this strategically the way that direction our brand wants to go in? So these are things you should be considering when developing your e-marketing. So going back to the marketing mix, obviously it goes back to Borden and McCarthy. So price tends very much about the currency comparison, the place is obviously location, promotion in terms of advertising, products in terms of brand, range and assortment. We've got the physical evidence, the people, and the processes very much evolved from the service marketing. And this is one of the online marketing mixes, which